Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dr. V's Motivational Mondays, a video series where we talk about best practices for self-regulation and effective learning strategies, where our goal is learning how to learn, because after all, everybody, learning should be fun. And today we're going to talk about something that you can do to make learning more enjoyable. Part of the learning process is understanding that it's not just you in the arena. You are in this fight with somebody in your corner. And that somebody is your instructor. And that something is their feedback. So today we are going to talk about how to use feedback, how to actually think about feedback so that it doesn't feel like an attack and it doesn't feel overwhelming. After all feedback is, at its best, is advice for improvement, and at its worst, it's still advice for improvement. So we want to make sure we understand how to use feedback effectively. So the first thing that you need to do with feedback is you need to review it. This is going to involve reading the feedback thoroughly. Now, one thing that people often get tempted to do when it comes to feedback is like skim it and think that they understand what the feedback is. You are encouraged to go through the feedback very deliberately. Really make sure you understand each area of comments and suggestions. How many things are they commenting on? Separate them. Really think about what are the things that are being targeted. Don't look at the feedback as just one big, oh my God, I suck, but instead look at the feedback as opportunities to get better at that material. The second thing you're going to do is reflect. This is where you're going to consider the feedback in relationship to the assignment and the course goals. So what is it that the course is working on, and what was that assignment trying to do that got you closer to those course goals? You want to make sure that you identify big areas of improvement. This is really going to be thinking about you can't fix everything every single time you do something. So instead, identify the areas for big improvement and really focus your attention on that. The third step is going to be to revise. This is where you're going to actually implement the feedback into your next assignment. One thing that you are recommended to do is have the feedback next to you or have it in a document as you're working on your assignment and be marking it off as you work on or implement each area. It's going to be very important that you have a goal and a plan to intentionally integrate each area of feedback. You also want to make sure that you continue to make those adjustments. So once you've been corrected on something, the revision is expected moving forward. For instance, once I tell somebody how to fix their APA 7 formatting, those expectations continue. Those lingering expectations carry forward into the rest of the course. The next step is going to be to respond. This is going to be somewhat different perhaps, but this is where you need to really think about directly addressing the comments the instructor has made. This is especially true if there's something you don't understand. So if there's a comment that your instructor made and you're like, I don't really know what you're after here, you're not going to do yourself any favors by not addressing that comment, right? So go ask your instructor. Ask for help interpreting the feedback. Don't interpret it wrong and then continue to get that information incorrect moving forward. You also need an opportunity to explain your actions taken or your choices made. So sometimes we don't use feedback, and that's okay. It is important in those instances to argue why we're not using the feedback. And then last is to repeat. This is to continuously engage with feedback and to use that feedback moving forward to enhance your learning. What's really important, guys, when it comes to feedback is recognizing that what we're really doing is trying to use feed forward. We don't want feedback to hold us back. We want feedback to propel us forward. And what that means is instead of looking at it and focusing on just everything that you think is identified as incorrect, right? Instead, look at the areas for potential improvement in the future. Because what you're doing is you're having an opportunity to demonstrate a may not know it yet, but I can learn it, and I can do it with time. That is everything for this episode of Dr. V's Motivational Mondays. If you would like a say in the videos produced on this channel, go ahead and scan this QR code. Otherwise, I look forward to talking with you guys again next week. Take care, everybody.